What is up, YouTube? Zor here. Today I have a video for you doing a really awesome review. And this is going to be a big review, and by big, I mean time-wise and the size of the package. This is the SpiderArm system. This is a pretty extensive system. This is for the iPad too. It's basically a mounting system. Here you have the website, SpiderArm.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go check them out. The user guide and much more updated info is on their website, so you can go there, see some more updated info, and you'll be set. So I'm getting my knife out here just in case I have to cut something open, but I don't think I will have to. So this isn't some kind of little case, so I have to take this out first, but I'll unlatch this, and then after that I'll take it out. But while I'm doing this, this is a really extensive system. You have 3 different mounts, so you can do multiple angles of height, as you can see here. So I'll turn it over for you guys. So that's just the SpiderArm little coat thing for this. And then over here, you see on the back, many different things. So this is a very versatile system, completely adjustable articulating arms, 270-degree joints, rigid soft anodized aluminum tube design. It has full adjustment range and 360-degree swing capability. That's amazing. You can swing this 360 degrees, so that's full circle, and that is just really easy for versatility and use. So what inside you get? You get a Versa mount, 3-way base. You get a surface mount, 3 anodized aluminum arm sections, a base arm, a mid arm, a short arm, iPad 2 secure snap, secure lock, hex key, and user guide, including mounting tips. So you get a lot of stuff, and this is $80. So what you're getting with this is a huge value for what you're paying. You're just getting an all-inclusive solution to mounting your iPad. And so here are the uses. You can at home, the den, the living room, the kitchen, counter room, and bedroom nightstand. So there's a lot of uses for this, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. Here you have it on a table. So that's the clamp right there. That's the Versa clamp, and then it works really nicely. The solution for it, when I tested it, it actually secured itself very nicely to the table, so it is not going to go anywhere if you secure it. So 1, 2, or 3 arms for perfect positioning and ergonomic comfort. The Versa mount, 3-way base mount, C-clamp, surface, and wall mount. So you can mount that on a surface wall. 2-way base with a 360 radial adjustment. That's the surface mount. The surface mount requires you to screw it into a wall or whatever you're going to screw it into. So that's why I don't really use it in this video, but the Versa mount is what I use the most. So let's open this up over here. So pretty big package, but it's fairly thin. And pull this out. So already you can tell there's a lot of stuff in plastic wrap. A lot of stuff. So I can see all kinds of mounts and clamps and all kinds of stuff like that. So the first thing you have is obviously your user guide. This is going to tell you how to use it. Multiple uses, multiple configurations. A really simple yet easy to understand user guide. So in here we have the longer mount. This is mounted with the Versa mount. So this is really what you're going to put on the table, and then that's going to extend from there, and that's going to extend up, and then you can add more stuff to that to make it longer or shorter. So this is a very customizable system. So this is the mount that actually holds the iPad 2 secure. It's very easy to use. Those 2 extra layers, as you can see right there, that extra section right there is giving you the ability to very easily release it. I'll show you that later in the video. So this is just the Versa mount again, and it's actually fairly light in my opinion. So in here you have the that's the surface mount. This is the one that requires you to screw it in. This is ideal for under maybe a kitchen. So right there, that piece is a little bit squishy, but this is ideal for having it under a kitchen counter, and then you can mount it there, have your iPad, and then say look at cooking directions. And as you can see here, you have these little bolts that are screwable, which tighten, adjust it, allow you to simply adjust it. Then you have Allen wrenches, Allen keys here, and the 4 screws that go into the surface mount. So they really give you an all-inclusive package, a lot of stuff in here, and I'm actually amazed that they give you this stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So you have, let me see, like over 4 things here, actually over 5, and you have a lot of different possibilities with all this stuff. So this is the user guide, and it tells you what all this stuff is. That is the base arm. That one goes from the clamp to the other arms, and then eventually to the iPad, depending on how you configure it. That's the midway arm. This is the Versa mount 3-way base. Under that is the surface mount. So you have a bunch of different configurations. The one on the left you see is the most popular one because it only uses the smaller mount directly attached to the Versa mount. You can have way more, like you can have a larger, and that is the one, that's the surface mount mounted under the kitchen counter table, which is good for instructions or anything really in the kitchen. So you can't use this with a case, unfortunately, because it is only compatible with the iPad 2 without the case, but you can get over it because it is essentially a case that goes over it when you mount it, so you won't be able to use that capability with it. But here is the actual holder for the iPad itself. It doubles as a stand. If you stand it up in portrait or landscape, it will also stand up and you'll be able to use it as a stand. So that's what is happening there. You can adjust it many different positions. It's very easy to use, and that is just a little important warning that you guys might want to read when you get it. So that's basically what is included. So here is the middle section mount. This is the one that goes in between the base mount and the mount that goes to your iPad. Here you have the Versa mount. Very simple, very easy to use. It's a pretty simple system. And these little twistable, I guess, screws you could say, are very easy to operate. They're large, so you can get a good grip on them and just simply adjust them the way you want. So this is the configuration, the first configuration. This is the smallest one. This is with the Versa mount going directly to the iPad 2 holder. So that is the simplest, smallest, and most easiest to use. So here I'll show you how you apply it to the iPad. This does have a cutout for the iPad, so that is what's awesome about it. So then you just snap down. The good way to tell is if it snaps down. You want to be able to hear the snap, otherwise it's not good. So you need to hear the snap, and this is just simply adjusting it to the iPad, so you'll be able to mount the iPad. So you're going to mount this to the desk or whatever surface, tighten it so that you know it's not going to fall off, because you are holding a minimum $500 machine in there, so you definitely want to make sure that's tight, because the last thing you want is that falling down to the ground and your iPad getting smashed. So make sure you tighten that. And then after that, what we have is the iPad in the small configuration. So very easy to use. It's not wiggling at all. So a very, very simple way to use it. You can use photo booth fine. The back, nothing is covered because it does have that cutout. So as you can see, that's a shot of the back. And the front, nothing's exposed. Nothing is covered, I mean, so it's very easy. So this is the full configuration using both arms and the iPad 2 holder. So this is the full size one. This is how they demonstrated it. It's very easy to use. It does wiggle, I have to say, it will wiggle, but nothing is, again, interfered with, so you'll be able to use your iPad, same function. So over there you see that it has that little going from the Versa mount to the main base arm, and then you can loosen that, and then you can adjust it to your preference, which will allow you to have tons of different angles. I have used this in almost every angle possible, and you can really get a feel for what you want this angle to be, because you have so many adjustable knobs and turning axles and ball points. So this is really easy to use. I'm telling you guys, this is amazing. You can completely rotate the iPad 360 degrees, so this will match any angle, literally. And that's basically what's happening there. And we'll go over here and we'll adjust this. Now it's at a 90-degree angle. We'll put this at a 180, so it's going to be straight up. So adjusting this, and it's not too hard. If you tighten it too tight, it does get a little bit stiff, and you have to put a lot of force into it. But if you don't tighten it too tight, you just put it to the level where it's not going to move. That is where you want to put it. So here, this is the iPad at full height. This is both mounts standing straight up. This is not recommended. I don't know why you use this. I just did it for fun, and as you can see, that is the front camera facing me. So it's very, very simple to use, and it is pretty good, and it's supporting the iPad's weight, and it's a good amount of height away from the table. So here is the recommendation that I would use. This is what I would do. I would mount it like this. If you wanted to watch a movie next to a computer's, you can charge it at the same time that you use it. But that's my setup personally. So this is what it is. I have to say it does wiggle a lot. So the only one that does not wiggle is the bottom, the smaller mount. Otherwise, it does wiggle. But typing on it actually isn't that hard, as you're about to see right here. So we're going to go to SpiderArm.com right here. So it's not that hard to type on this. No errors made, so it's pretty easy. Just go in there using your iPad, and as you can see, it's wiggling right now. But if you leave it alone, it will stop wiggling. But I have to say, it does get frustrating at times that it wiggles. But you will be able to overcome this. You'll find out smart ways to stop it from wiggling. You can just hold it steady, and it will work that way. So this is their website. You can go here for all the tips. You'll have videos there, instructional videos on how to use this. You can buy it for $80, shipping to US and Canada, so it's very nice product. You have multiple videos in there. You have video overview, all that stuff. So here I'm just going to show you some functions here. So FaceTime right here, you can see it's wiggling at the shot of me. As you see me, the camera itself is wiggling, which just indicates that it is not a steady system if you're moving it. So right there you just saw it wiggle, and it can get distracting at times. So holding it still is essential when you use this with all three mounts. If you use less mounts, the less mounts you use, the steadier it will be. So if you're going to use all three mounts, it's going to be pretty shaky if you're touching it all the time, like reading a book. So if you're reading a book with this, you may only want to use the one or the two mounts, because if you use all three, I'm going to have to tell you guys that it does get shaky. So that's just something I noticed. So here we have the Wall Street Journal, flipping through it. It actually got a lot less shaky because I figured out how to use it without shaking it that much, because as you adjust to it, you'll figure out the secrets to not making it shake. But this is basically the setup I got going here. This is something that I would personally use. I'd use that for Twitter. I'd use that for FaceTime. I'd use it for almost any Apple function. And here you see this is a shot taken from me laying down on my bed, and that is hovering over my bed. So this is also one of the ways you can mount it. It's an amazing way to mount it. I think it's very effective. So that's basically it for all the mounting, and I'll have a little clip after this showing how I mounted this. And then after that, I'll talk about my overview and opinion on it. So here we have how I mounted it. Pretty nice, I have to say. It's awesome. And that's basically it for all the mounting methods. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Alright guys, so after watching the setup, the review, the unboxing, I think that it is actually a really nice product for the price. $80 is not bad with what you're getting. First of all, I'm surprised they included the Allen wrenches. They included the Allen wrenches in this package with all the screws. Usually a lot of companies either forget to do it, too lazy, or they just don't want to do it. So this is kind of like an all-inclusive package. If you need to stand up your iPad, this whole system has any way you need to stand it up. Not only can you stand it up using all the mounts, this method I'm using right now, you can use it and stand it up if you remove all the mounts and just keep it in the case they give you with. It is still a stand. So this case right here has a stand built in. This little arm doubles as a stand. If I were to set it down right here, I'll go set it down right here. Bam, it's a stand. It also works in portrait. Doubles as a stand. So it's a really cool system. So basically every part, they made sure that every single part has a function. So you don't have some useless parts that only work when put together with other parts. Every single part has a purpose. This isn't just some case that only works when it's applied. This is also a case that works as a stand. It's protective, it's easy to remove, put on. It's a really comprehensive system. And that is why I recommend you guys go check this out. It is amazing what they can do with this system. I mean, you have 3 different rotating arms that all work separately. They don't have to join together with each other. They all work individually, so one can be pointing that way, one can be that way, and that all comes together to create an awesome angle. So you can basically get any angle. You have 360 degrees of rotation, so there's nothing really wrong with it. Now let me get to the cons, and before I do that, I'll say I'll give this an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Now you guys may be wondering why I gave that. Well, the reason for that is because it shakes a little bit. So that's why I'm using the short mount right here, the smaller mount. This one does not shake, which is really nice, and it's expected because you're basically having a system that is that isn't really meant to support all of that iPad weight perfectly. It's supposed to support it, but the only problem with that is that because you have these long arms that actually extend quite a bit of distance, you can't actually counterbalance it with anything without compromising in some area. So that's why it shakes a little bit. Obviously, you can find other countermeasures to make it not shake, like you can hold it still and then it will stop shaking. Now, if you do touch it again, say if you're reading a book, you're on the page, it stops, but then as soon as you want to flip the page, you gotta go like this, and then it will start shaking again. That's the only problem with it. That's why I gave it a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. Otherwise, it's a great system. I'm using it right now. I use the short mount because obviously I don't want it to shake. Plus, I don't need something as large as the longer mounts. The longer mounts I'd use if I didn't want to use it at all, like hands-free. I would hang it on one side of the room, bring it over to the other side of the room. That is probably the best use for musicians. So you have a musician, they hang it up in the air, and then they have, say, a virtual keyboard, just hypothetically speaking, but that would work well. So it's not a bad configuration. It works well. It's $80. So I recommend you guys go check them out. Got the link down in the video description. Comment down below or send them a message asking questions, any thoughts. If you want to know how well it works, I'll probably answer you guys. Probably have a follow-up video with this mount in the future, maybe a couple days, if I decide to screw it in. If not, then I won't have it. But you guys should probably see me using this quite a bit later in the future. I will probably be using this a lot more because it's just a great system and it actually has a lot of uses. This is probably the most useful product I've ever reviewed, ever used for the iPad. So with that, guys, rate, comment, and subscribe. Go check them out. Link in the video description. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, do that too. Comment if you want to. And